Let me start by applauding the vision and tenacity of the organizers of this very important briefing today. Before I want to go on, I first and foremost want to give you an insight of what has happened in Borno State before, which is very important. Then I should dwell into the current situation in Borno State, what have we achieved, and others. The insurgency has triggered acute humanitarian and post-displacement crisis with devastating social and economic impact on the population, further deepening fragility and poverty in the northeast sub-region. The outcome of the recovery and peace-building assessment by the World Bank, EU, and UN revealed that the total sum of about $6.9 billion was lost as a result of the insurgency in the entire northeastern state. Out of this, Borno State accounts for over 2/3%. The insurgents have destroyed about 5,000 classrooms in Borno State. About 800 municipal buildings were destroyed, comprising of local government secretariat, prisons, traditional rulers' buildings, among others. They destroyed about 713 energy distribution lines. Furthermore, they destroyed about 1,600 water sources. In addition to this one, we harvested a total number of about 49,311 widows and about 49,917 orphans. These are official figures. The unofficial figures are more than this. Before then, out of the 27 local governments that we have in Borno State, at a time, about 22 of the local governments are under the control of the Boko Haram insurgents. In Borno State again, there was a time we had only one access road to Maiduguri, which is from Kano to Maiduguri. The road between Maiduguri to Damboa was closed. The road between Maiduguri to Goza was closed. The road between Maiduguri to Ngala was closed. The road between Maiduguri to Mongono, Damasak were all closed. We were left with only one major road. The magnitude of the destructions was so scary. Then, what is the status now in Borno State? Today, the gradual return of peace and a marked reduction of cases of insecurity in Borno State and major parts of the northeastern region have been attributed to the commitment and collaboration on the part of the state and federal government. I want to say something categorically here, that one of the major reasons why we have been succeeding in the northeast, in particular in Borno State, is because of one major fundamental thing. There was never a time I requested to see Mr. President, and I was denied access. This is something very important. Never a time. In fact, sometime I do used to call Ambassador Kazaure on landing in Abuja whenever I had serious security situations in Borno State. Within the next 10-15 minutes, he will speak to Mr. President, and Mr. President will give me access to see him. And this has contributed a lot in ensuring gradual return of peace and stability to Borno State. Significant amount of resources has been injected into the implementation of the security strategies, financial, material, logistics, and motivational. The state government has shown a great commitment in the relocation of internally displaced persons, with farming activities picking up in most parts of the state. It is worthy of note that with the recent mass surrendering of Boko Haram insurgents, normalcy is expected to return to most part of the northeastern region in no distant time. We have to understand the nexus between peace, security, and development. Once there is no peace, there is no security. Once there is no security, there is no development. The level of achievement that we had in Borno State would never be peaceful without the enabling environment. For example, the number of houses that we built in Borno State from 2015 to date need not to be overemphasized, because I was the Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Settlement. Under the supervision of my ministry, we rehabilitated nothing less than 20,000 houses in Borno State. More than. What is 20,000? Up to 50,000 houses in Borno State were rehabilitated. Again, the status now is that the major roads were now open. The roads between Maiduguri to Damasak was open. The road between Maiduguri to Mongono was open. The road between Maiduguri to Gwadha is open. Few days ago, just 2 months ago, we completely reopened one of our biggest route, which is Banki-Bama Road. Banki-Bama Road will pass through, will go up to the Republic of Cameroon. I was in Banki a few months ago. I hope you have noticed my presence in the market at 12 midnight in Banki. This wasn't possible before. Again, recently we have opened another market in Damasak. We have opened another market in Gubio. Mongono market is also open. Most importantly, the relocation of the internally displaced persons need not to be overemphasized. These are all as a result of milestone achievement recorded in the areas of security in Borno State. Yes, I'm not saying that the security challenges is over, but this will not be possible without effective collaboration and synergy between the government of Borno State and the federal government agencies. Honestly speaking, the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the police, the DSS and others are giving the desired collaboration to the government of Borno State. We are supporting them. How? First effort that we did in securing Borno State is through intelligence sharing, which is very important. The community participation is very important. The community-driven approach of re-establishing peace in Borno State has yielded positive results. For instance, we have the district heads, we have His Royal Highness, the Show of Borno, and other Royal Highnesses. We have a local intelligence who normally provide feedback mechanism to the government, to the military, with a view to addressing the lingering security situation in the state. The second effort that we have been making that ensures peace in Borno State is continuous provision of logistics to the Nigerian armed forces, to the other security agencies. I think I will be happy if the inflow and outflow will be reduced to the barest minimal, because there's a lot of distractions. So, this is the status now. Furthermore, with the strong support and commitment of the government, we achieved the following: restoration of significant major offences and reduced incidents of the campaign of violence. We have seen in Borno State, the incidences of bomb attacks has been reduced drastically. Yes. For how long? Before then, on a daily basis, we have been witnessing bombings throughout Borno State. But this has been reduced by about 80%, if not more than 90%. Reconstruction of lives and livelihoods embarked upon relentlessly. Over 5,000 physical infrastructure built by the state and federal government. Partnership with international community helped to strengthen government efforts. We partner with international organizations. Yes, sometimes we differ in our own understandings, but most importantly, the UN-OCHA, the UN agencies, and some international organizations and local organizations have given great support to the government of Borno State because we have what we call a return strategy. High-level steering committee meeting headed by the deputy governor. Membership cut across different strata. Let me also use this opportunity to commend the efforts of NEMA, Custom Services, Kakobit Committee, Northeast Development Commission, and Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs in providing food and non-food items to our IDPs. Huge quantum of food has been delivered to the people of Borno State. Stability is very important, without which we can't. Again, as I told you, we built about 432 classrooms and 242 watch facilities. You have heard a lot. Within the last 2 years, we provided over 560 projects. We recruited about 1,000 health personnel, constructed 24 new roads, including flyovers in Maiduguri, 18 existing roads in rehabilitation. Most importantly, there is something that this administration did to Borno State that will go a long way in reducing the insurgency. The federal government has approved for the reconstruction, for the construction of Bama Banki Road, Dikwa Gamborungala Road. These are the two major roads that can improve the economic well-being of the people of Borno State under the tax credit scheme. Dangote will do it, and we remain eternally grateful. We built about 779 boreholes. All these figures that I'm saying, if anybody has any iota of doubt, we are ready to provide the coordinates of these projects that we did. Again, in farming communities, areas under cultivation were increased by about 700%. Then, the most important thing that I want you to understand is that these farming activities is very important. You can leave Maiduguri now, up to Baga, you can see people farming. We embark on serious irrigation activities also, supporting the farmers. We supported nothing fewer than 20,000 heads of household by providing them with irrigation equipment. All these achievements could never be feasible without the support of the federal government, without the support of the Nigerian armed forces. We remain eternally grateful to all of them. On the voluntary return of internally displaced persons, I think this is something which is very important that we say it so. But the requirement for resettlement are as follows. Location, security clearance by military commandant. First of all, we do use to receive clearance by military. We provide housing, either transition shelters, permanent or rented homes. Health facility appropriate for the population. Safe drinking, school, police station or police post, marketplace, traditional rulers resource center, civil defense officers, establishment of civil authorities, police officers, teachers, healthcare providers, nurses, midwives. Community centers, solar electricity, places of worship, free access and movement, market relevant skills and livelihood plan for youth and women in particular. All these are conditions for return. We are very not mindful. So all these are factors that were considered before returning back people. Let me use this opportunity to also mention one very important thing. The committee that has been established, that was inaugurated by Mr. President yesterday, is one of the most important committees. Committee on the repatriation and resettlement of internally displaced persons. This committee will also look into the management of the defectors. This committee is headed by the Vice President, while I'm the Vice Chair. The membership drawn from all organizations, especially Army, Police, Northeast Development Commission, Humanitarian, among others. And most importantly, the governors of Adamawa, Gombe, and Yobe State are also included. So, again, we are providing houses to the returnees, food and condiments are provided, and adult member of the family will be provided with startup packages. Married women are also provided with packages. For those voluntarily returning to rural areas, access to farming land will be provided also. Children will be enrolled back to school. Stalls and shops will be allocated to community traders. Once homes are allocated to a family in a safe environment, they will not be received back into the camps. Families will be encouraged to adopt orphans from the same socio-cultural activities. Challenges. All what I've said now could never be feasible without the support of the government. But notwithstanding all the contributions of the federal government, we still have some challenges. One, I said it even before, that growing number of Iswap in some parts of the state is a matter of great concern to everybody. Where? In the shores of the Lake Chad. Again, in southern Borno State. Luckily enough, I was told there was military deployment yesterday to southern Borno State to fight the insurgents in the Tambukta Triangle. But I think this is an early warning system. We shouldn't allow Iswap to grow. Iswap are more sophisticated, they are well funded, they are more educated. And we shall do everything possible to defeat Iswap. Otherwise, what Boko Haram did will be a child play. This is an early warning system. Nigerian army has to re-strategize and defeat Iswap. Iswap will be a threat to the entire nation. Because of the fragility of the sub-Saharan Africa, they are coming from Libya and others, resettling there. And then, whether we like it or not, a few days ago I've spoken something about 2 local governments are still not occupied by human population. I think there is some certain misunderstanding. Some say that 2 local governments are under the control of Boko Haram. No. 2 local governments are not occupied by human population. But whether we like it or not, it's right, because if 2 local governments are not occupied, what does it mean? It means the capacity is not there to protect the human population to go to these local government areas. But we are working with the Nigerian army to ensure immediate resettlement of people to Malampatori, which is the headquarters of Abadam local government. And again, Gudumbali, headquarters of Mairari local government. We are not saying that these 2 local governments are under their control, but these 2 local governments are not under human occupation. We need support from the federal government to support the relocation of these people to these local government areas. This committee that has been constituted by the federal government will look into these matters, among others. We want clearance of the shores of the Lake Chad. Again, in conclusion, while the challenge of insecurity is being solved gradually, it is not yet over. I said it time without numbers that in addition to what we are doing, I said it time without numbers that there is a need for government of Nigeria to rethink and look into the possibility of hiring mercenaries. I said it time without numbers. There is nothing wrong. America, Britain, many more countries that are stronger than Nigeria do use to seek support outside. There is nothing wrong. Because this problem has been compounded. And it's not easy for us to solve the security challenges that we're having now at the time. While the Nigeria is providing a lot of things, federal government is buying equipment, there is a need for us to seek support from external agencies to defeat these insurgents once and for all before the matter will reach other parts of the nation. This is very important. Whether we like it or not, we have an existing gaps that we need to fill it. And this gap by now cannot be filled without external support. While we shall continue to build our own institutions. training and retraining. One very serious challenge that we have, our recruitment process has to be looked into. Yes, you can just say recruitment of army, collecting notes from governors, from ministers, from others, and then people are queuing it. As long as we are not willing to sanitize our recruitment procedures to the armed forces, to police, SS, and others, we shall not get the right thing.